Mrs. Jones was telling me this morning how everyone in this class is a writer and that you've been telling stories and drawing pictures and using your ABC chart to help find the sounds that you know. And the reason why I'm here is because I'm a writer too. And I like to write stories. And today I'm going to show you how when I write a story, I try to make myself write as much as I can on the page. And I brought a book that I'm making. I know that your books look like this, that you can make. But the book that I made last night when I was home, I used big paper. And I want to tell you about my book, and I'm going to show you how I'm going to write a lot on the pages. My book is called, because all books have a title, my book is called My Closet Elevator. Because when I was a little girl, I used to go in my room, and I had a closet for my clothes, and I would go in there and fix it all up and make it into a pretend elevator. And then I would go in my closet, pretend I was going up. Go in my closet, pretend I was going down. And my closet wasn't a closet anymore. It was an elevator. So my book is called My Closet Elevator by Amy, because that's my name. And authors, we always write our names on the front of our book. So today, if you write a book, you'll want to put your name on the front. And I bet you know how to write your name, don't you? Yeah. So you'll put your name right on the front. Well, inside my book, I didn't do any of the words yet. What I did first was the pictures. So I'll show you that. This picture is me pushing all the clothes to the side in my elevator. Because what I used to do is I first would push all the clothes so that I would have room to play. This is page 1 of my book. On page 2, what I used to do next is I would make a little page, and I drew with a marker buttons on the page, on a piece of paper, and hung it up so that my toy elevator would have buttons to push. And then on the last page of my book is just a picture of me peeking out of the doors of my closet, which was now my elevator, and I have a speech bubble. I'm saying, going up, because that's what people on elevators say. They say, going up. So I made that come out of me, saying, going up. Now, my book right now doesn't have very many words in it. There aren't very many letters on my page. So today, what I'm going to do is I'm going to push myself. I'm going to nudge myself a little bit to write more than I did. Because that's what good writers do. We always say, what's easy for me to do? Well, it's easy for me to draw this picture. What would be a little push for me? What would be a little push for me to write a sentence on here? So put your hands down, and I'm going to do that because what writers do is we say, I'm going to do a little more than I usually do. So on this page, I'm going to write, I move my clothes. Would you like to help me write that? I, and I'll put a space, move, M, right, move, O, look at that. I move, just like a cow, look at that. I move, V. I know that vacuum makes the V sound. I move, finger space, my, is that on the word wall?
M-Y.
It is on the word wall, and it's and you knew it just in a snap. Did you know it too?
Yeah.
Good for you.
I know it too. Yeah, because I have it in my word card.
Well, that's what good writers, we remember. That's on my word card. And I thought, maybe it's on the word wall, and it was. Look, I move my clothes.
C.
Clothes.
O.
Oh,
S-E.
clothes.
E. S.
I put a period at that. I move my clothes. Now, I put a whole sentence on this. There might be some writers in this room who you might say, I usually write one sentence on a page. I think I could push myself to write 2 sentences or 3 sentences. Now, there might be some writers in this room, some of our newer writer friends who might say, well, I usually have a picture. And today, I'm going to push myself a little bit to put some words on my picture. So let me see. Who here's a writer who you have pictures, but today you're thinking, I'm going to try a couple words today, more words than I usually do. Are you one of those writers? Let's see. If I want to put, let's say I want to write the word buttons next to this. Will you help me with that?
B.
B. Now, read what we have so far here. Now we have b, b. Will you say that whole word, buttons?
Buttons. Buttons.
Go ahead, with the blue dress. Will you say b, b?
Ivy got buttons.
Can you say buttons?
Buttons. Buttons.
Good. What do you hear after the B? B, b. But I'm happy with this one. Buttons.
Buttons.
Do you know what
T.
letters? T. Good for you.
My mom starts with T.
Your mom does, so you know that. So this is buttons. And at the end, there's an S because buttons has an S at the end, and I'm putting buttons next to my picture here.
First sentence, you should write, I am hanging up my buttons.
Now, if I were a writer saying, I want to push myself to write a whole sentence, I would write maybe, I am hanging up my buttons. And if I were a writer to write more sentences, I could write, so I can play elevator. So all the writers in this room today, you have a special job.
Yeah.
I'm going to do the last page later. Your special job today is to, oh, would you sit up, please? Is to ask yourself, let's see. I'm going to ask one writer to come sit up in this chair here. Will you come sit right up in this chair? And we're going to ask him a couple questions today. Now, usually when you write something, what do you usually have on the page? Do you usually have just a picture and some letters, a picture and a couple words, one sentence? What do you usually have?
A whole, like, 6 sentences.
You might have like 6 sentences on one page, so you write a lot of sentences on a page. So if you today were going to push yourself to write a little more, what might you do?
I might do 8.
You might try to do 8. So if he usually writes a lot, today he might say, I'm going to write even more. So your picture might even be smaller. You have to leave more room for your words, wouldn't you? Thank you for telling us. Would you sit down? Now, is there a writer here who mostly does pictures? Maybe one of our newer writers who today is thinking about trying some words. Will you come up here? Come sit right here. It's good for writers to think about what they want to do next. Now, when you write in Writing Workshop, what do you usually have on a page? Oh, can you sit all the way down here?
I just sound the words out.
Do you usually have a picture?
Yeah.
And how many words do you usually have?
10.
Maybe like 10. So today, you might write even more. So writers, what I'd like you all to do, turn to your partner. Do you have a partner? Tell your partner, usually I draw a picture with a little words. Today, I'm going to write a whole sentence. Or usually I write 3 sentences. Today, I'm going to push myself to write a little more. Turn to your partner and tell your partner what you're going to nudge yourself to do. When we go off today, and today later, when I take my book about the elevator and work on it some more, what's important really isn't that I'm going to count every single thing that I write. But what's important is that I'm going to try as a writer to do a little more than I usually do. So if I usually do one thing, today I'm going to say, oh, I'm going to push myself to write even a little bit more than usual. So when we meet with you today, and some of us will get to talk with you, we're going to ask you what you're trying to do as a writer, because good writers are always trying to do our best and to do some words and some pictures. So today, some of you might be choosing booklets like I did, and I know that you said, can you tell me your name?
Alexis.
Alexis already has an idea, and she knows that she wants to write about the time she got her first loose tooth. And she might need a booklet for that, because she might want to tell each part like I did.